Welcome back to a best of 5 series of top level StarCraft 2. What I've got for you today is the finals of the Korean StarCraft League. It's a best of 5, a Zerg versus Protoss. We're in game number 1. In the bottom left hand corner of Ultra Love. Playing with the blue Protoss pieces, we have none other than Classic. And his opponent, apparently currently residing in Korea, we have Reynor. Now, of course, the EWC, the Esports World Cup, I mean, it's coming up real soon, and supposedly, at least as far as I understand, Reynor is doing the majority of his practice this time around. Not from Grandma's house, but instead, we have traveled all the way to Korea. It's a little bit further away, but it should do the trick. Korea, of course, is, well, a bit of a hotspot when it comes to StarCraft 2, right? And it certainly can give you a lot of variety. When you play a lot on the European ladder, you might get lulled into almost like a passivity. The Koreans in general, a little bit more coin flippy, a little bit crazier, a little bit more aggressive. At least the majority of them. I think Classic actually is maybe like the most European as far as like his playstyle goes. Like Classic in general, he does have a little bit of craziness in him. Maybe it's not quite up to like Showtime's defensive level, but Classic is extremely strong across the board. And generally speaking, he does prefer playing the macro game. Now, I've been very impressed by Reynor lately. I did cast quite a few of his games, and he has been, well, destroying a lot of Protoss players across the board. So, not exactly sure what to expect from him in this particular series. He seems to be mixing up the playstyle quite a bit. I've been, noticing quite a bit of variety in the strategies that he's been choosing, at least in the series that I've checked out. So, we'll have to see what he decides to go for here. I am fully expecting Classic to just play mostly a very, well, normal, a very classical approach. So, I'm assuming this will be a good old Stargate opener. Oracle, okay, I'm gonna call it Oracle into Oracle into Oracle. Ah, crazy. Never seen before. And then into a Twilight Council with Blink and +1. So he goes into a Forge as well, together with the Twilight Council. Third Nexus at 3 minutes and 45 seconds. And I'm gonna call it right now. The Oracles will kill 2 drones. No, it's against Reynor. He will kill 4 drones. And Reynor is gonna, like, not make enough Zerglings to force a council on the third Nexus. That's my prediction for the first 5 minutes. Come on, Loco. Alright, so far so good. It's indeed gonna be a Stargate. We'll have 2 Adepts, by the way. 2 Adepts, and I think the Adepts are gonna YOLO into a mineral line and kill 2 drones. This is my prediction. Will I be right? I mean, look. Early game PvZ is very well figured out. And guys like Classic basically do the same thing every time. With small little deviations here and there, don't get me wrong. So he's gonna just scout for now. Second Adept is gonna come in. Come on, make me look good, Classic. If I get it right, though, the problem is, if I do get it right, people will accuse me of having pre-watched the game. Because I am casting from replay. People will accuse me of cheating. Yeah, look. He's gonna commit now. First Oracle, by the way, coming up. Third Nexus at 3:45 is what I said. Okay, here we go. I think he's gonna commit and kill 2 drones. Nah, okay, maybe not. I could have had a drone there. All right. Third Nexus. I mean, we're a little early here with the probe. Don't know why the probe is already here. It's not even 3:45 yet, dude. Okay, it's gonna be more like 3:50. Oh, the Adepts go back in. 1 kill, 2. Ooh, quick right there from Reynor, but he does... Ooh, yeah, oh, kill the third. Okay, no, one of those kills was the Oracle. 2 of those kills were the Oracle. I was right. Nice. In the meantime, third Nexus started up. I mean, about 3:45, fair enough. 2 kills on the Oracle, 2 Adepts dead for 2 drones. I said triple Oracle, right? Oh my god, third Oracle coming up right now. And I said Twilight Council with Forge. At the same time, and then into Blink with +1. Come on, Classic. We're so close. He does have to stop producing out of the Stargate, though, after this one. Yeah, Reynor did not make enough Zerglings, as I predicted, to kill the third Nexus or to really deal any true damage. Okay, we're done. Yes. Twilight Council Forge. Oh, Twilight Council? Classic, you forgot something. No. Oh, it's a... Alright, fine. That's a pylon. I got baited, man. I can't believe it. Alright, triple Oracle goes around the map. He's gonna wait, dude. He does the Korean thing. A lot of the Europeans get those structures at the same time. Man, he's diving pretty deep. It could be glaives. It could actually be glaives. Oh, okay, there's the forge. All right. No, yeah, I might still be on track here. I don't know why I didn't make the forge earlier, though. Blink? Right now? We have money. Oh, yes. Nice snipe right there by Reynor. Yeah, I guess he was saving himself a little bit of money, but I mean, he could have had the +1 already going here. Okay, not bad. To be fair, though, this is like your most average way to open up ZVP. Obviously, there's a lot of moving parts. And these adepts, generally speaking, a little uncommon. We don't see them as much anymore lately. This was super popular a few months ago. A little bit of that Korean chaos. And so far, right, how well is this game going here for Reynor? Well, whenever you see the adept shading around like this, generally speaking, it's not going well. There's a lot of lost mining time, a lot of lost units as well on the side of the Zerg. Not that many workers. 10 though in total is more than you want, but it was also at the cost of, well, now 8 of those bad boys together with an Oracle. And Oracles are a unit that you really want to keep around if possible. It is going to be quick Storm on the back of this, so this is what a lot of Protoss players have been very fond of lately. +1 melee finishing up for Reynor. Yeah, so Reynor is not in a bad spot here, but it's not a comfortable one either. Basically, any attack that he wants to go for is likely going to get countered now by the Protoss player. So any attack that he can go for from here would have to win just based on sheer numbers. Like in the next few minutes, that is, right? Obviously, you can just play a macro game, but if he wants to go for a timing push right now, he would like to win with sheer numbers, but Storm is going to counter the majority of it already. And Classic is not going to go down without a fight. So I think Reynor's indeed his best next choice is to go Hive together with a Lurker Den. I think Lurker Den Hive is probably the best way to go about it. Robo facility coming up. 4th Nexus, nice and tucked away here on Ultra Love. He is going for that strong push, though, through the middle of the map. And obviously this is that super scary moment, right? Where Protoss players can, well, lean their third base against yours pretty much. It's super, super close by. Wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of static defense over at the 3rd Nexus, though, for Classic. But now using the bridge over here as a way to save some of those units. Plenty of Storms available. He hasn't yet shown this to the Zerg, who, by the way, is now going into a Lurker Den. Okay. This hatchery in the top left is a finicky one. If Classic sees it, it becomes super easy to shut down. No creep really connecting to it yet, and it just feels really far away here. Charge on the back of this as well. Where's the High Templar? Ah, there they are. Not all zealots smoke weed, but these guys do. They can literally fly now. It's insane. They even have water balloons that they throw. I wish I had water balloons. Anyway. Nice detonation there. Loads of Storms available, though. Even though this Concave is about as good as Reynor is ever gonna get, yeah, he knows that the numbers might not be favoring him. Love this. Fleet Beacon on the back of it, together with a 2nd Stargate. Classic is already looking ahead, and he realizes that this is going to be a Lurker army. Hydralisks are baby Lurkers. He still wants to test the waters a little bit more, though. Storms some of his own units there. A lot of the Zerglings and the Hydras do take collateral damage, and honestly, this is a very well... like, a very patient engagement here for Classic. Like, I would be storming everything that was within sight and wasting all the energy, but he's like, no, you die, you die, you die. He's just storming whatever. Even some of his own units. But it's deliberate, you know? Which is nice. Can we please not lose the Prism, though, and all the High Templar? If he now loses the High Templar and the Prism, all of this is basically pointless. This Prism is gonna, okay, warp in additional units and then probably threat the Needle. In the meantime, Tempest production has begun. Tempests are going to be phenomenal against Lurkers, but maybe without it. Okay, hell of a storm there. A little bit of a misclick. Even without it, he's still going to be okay. Hatchery in the far top left, though, now finally gets spotted, and Classic is going to be able to take it out with ease. And now suddenly, right, with this base going down, we have 4 base versus 4 base. We have a late game transition into, like, this mid-gamey army for Reynor. Mothership starts up as well. You love to see it. Tectonic destabilizers, double damage for Tempest against structures. New hatchery coming up for Reynor, but it feels a little late. Okay. Classic is preparing for the late game that most Zerg players hate playing against. That being said, we have seen these type of armies for Protoss get destroyed if Zerg gets like the perfect engagement. So if you can come in from every side, you can get a surround on these type of Protoss armies. And you can make it so that like the time warp and the storms and all that really are mostly mitigated. Then suddenly this Protoss army feels very destroyable. And Reynor is going to try and attack through the flanks with Zerglings, but I think the main push will come through the Nidus network with Lurkers instead. There's already an Overlord here down south. Perfect spot for a Nidus Worm over there. We may very well see an Overseer as well flying around here to get some vision of the corners of the main. Either way, he's going to try and backstab with Lurkers. +1 air weapons coming up here for Classic. But at this point, yeah, there's not really a good answer here for the Zerg player against those Tempests. Like, Hydras technically shoot up, but, I mean, good luck trying to get within range of the Tempest. Plenty of units nearby here for Classic to deny it. Revelations from the early game still helping out. Instead, we decide to go in for the counterattack. Mama, activate your cloak! Mama, cloak! Mama! Okay, well, Mama forgot about the cloak ability, apparently. That's a little bit unfortunate. It's because he's busy microing on the other side of the map. Mothership, though, these days, look at her. 10 confirmed kills. He doesn't even know. 11 kills on the Mothership. It's still destroying stuff. Loads of probes, though, are going down as Classic is committing to a big push. Now the Nidus network does pop in, but you know what? The network is right next door. I think actually if you just snipe it down here, you can prevent a lot of that mobility from the Zerg player. Okay, Hive is gonna get sniped too. Reynor is committing to a full-on counter. He does not have any Corruptors. Love this, knocking down the rocks to make it more difficult. But without Corruptors, it's not gonna be easy, and Reynor realizes that this is not a base race he can win. This is not an army he can beat. So GG gets cold as Classic obtains the victory in a pretty much perfect game number 1. I kind of enjoyed the prediction game. Can I do the prediction game again? I think this time around, we'll see a very similar strategy from Classic. However, he's going to switch things up. Broadly speaking, he will still go for the Adepts. He will still go for like the triple Oracle and all the rest of it. But he's going to take a third Nexus off of a single gateway this time around, rather than a double gate. So we're going to see the third Nexus go up about 10 seconds sooner. And I also believe that he is going to start up the Forge at the same time as the Twilight Council, because there was no reason why he couldn't do that in the previous game. Like, he had the resources for it. He wasn't using them or saving them or anything. So, yeah, those are the big changes. Other than that, I think we do the exact same thing. Incorporeal is not a map that Protoss players generally seem to enjoy too much, mostly because this location is kind of tough to defend. But, yeah, I've seen a lot of Protoss players go for Fast Storm and kind of get the job done. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. But honestly, that was a very well-fought victory right there for Classic, who really has stepped up, by the way, this year. Classic at the beginning of 2025, not that impressive to me. I mean, not me being a jerk, but I just really didn't like many of his games. But he has improved very rapidly again. And it seems like his, like, general baseline is just way better. You know, like, everybody's allowed to have a derpy series. Most players will have a derpy series from time to time, especially the guys that participate in a ton of tournaments. Like, for example, Clem, MaxPax, Bjorn, like, they play in practically everything. It's... I mean, maybe... Serral never seems to have a derpy series, because he plays in, like, you know, 4 every month, right? He doesn't play nearly as many, but it's very easy to mess up a little bit, but it's mostly about like your baseline performance, and I feel like Classic has really improved a ton since the beginning of the year in that particular department. Likewise as well for Reynor. I mentioned this too at the beginning of the year. Reynor's games that I saw in like January, February, he didn't seem to play much. I didn't like him. I didn't think they looked particularly good. They looked pretty one-sided, and even though he obviously still has like this core mechanical skill, They just seemed kind of old school. Even though there's not like a ton of meta changes in StarCraft 2, if you don't pay attention for a little bit, you do fall behind pretty quickly. Both of them have stepped up. Let's see what we can do right here on this particular map. Okay. First Adept is out. Second Adept is out. So will we indeed see a second gateway before the third Nexus? You can get a third Nexus so freaking quick. I really like the super fast third Nexus. The main problem with it is that if Zerg makes like 20 Zerglings, the third Nexus is dead. But when's the last time you've seen Zerg players make like 20 Zerglings with link speed finishing up? If you only watch pro games, probably not very frequently. The problem is on the ladder, we see it quite a lot. So when you attempt that build on the ladder, probably like 50% of the time, you'll have to cancel your third Nexus because Zerg made more Zerglings than what is considered to be normal at the highest level. Top level StarCraft is all about these strange gentleman agreements. Nope, I was wrong. Dang it! Oh well. I thought it was an artificial intelligence. Many people have argued that I might be. But I can't even predict the future. I thought that's why we made AI. I thought AI was like the tarot cards of 2020. Oh my god, what are we doing? What was that, Classic? Not only did we delay the third Nexus for no apparent reason, but we also just YOLO'd an Oracle. Classic, that was not what we need to do, okay? Oracles have so much freaking utility. It's a weird unit, right? Because you kind of need to dive deep to get damage, but also you really don't want to lose it. Look at him. Spore crawlers are really like their worst enemy these days. He's still getting so much value, though. Hey, look. Fortune Twilight Council at the correct moment this time around. You love to see that. I'm imagining it'll probably be the exact same tech route again here for Classic. What does Reynor do differently this time? Well, he's already taken a bunch of damage, but he did kill an Oracle for his troubles. So look, if you take no damage and you kill an Oracle, then suddenly Queen drops are phenomenal, or just Queen walks. In this kind of situation, you could maybe go... He hasn't made a Roach Warren. He's only on a single gas. Ah, yeah, okay, no, I think we can maybe go Mutas? Like, that would technically be an option. Already, though, we've got ourselves the Blink coming up together with the Templar Archives. Mutas aren't a terrible choice here. Albeit a vulnerable one. And again, the Adepts are swooping in. Still, though, I think Reynor can get us around on the majority of them. Not bad. Yeah, get a good bit of damage done. Transfusion on a drone to try and save it. I like it. Oh! It is going to be Mutas. Do I continue predicting, chat? Like, Well, we did lose an Oracle. So I believe that the Oracles are going to have a hard time scouting the Spire. If, however, Classic sees it, he already has the counter against Mutas. He's got Storm and he's got Blink. Already really good choices. However, we could now also go into additional Phoenix production if he were to know. Phoenixes are phenomenal against Mutas, but only if you start making them in time. Like, as a reactionary unit, it rarely works. Oh, he's looking around, man. He's trying to throw Revelations left, right, and center. And keep in mind here as Classic, you have not seen anything, right? So Classic hasn't seen a Roach Warren even. He hasn't seen a Hydra. He hasn't seen a Baneling Nest. He hasn't seen anything. All he's seen is Zerglings and Queens. So, despite him not scouting anything, I can imagine alarm bells are going off. Yep, he already made a Photon Cannon in the third. I would love to see blind ones as well in the natural and the main. Because if suddenly a bunch of Mutas show up, you do run into a world of issues. Mutas with +1. So that generally means mass Muta. Yeah, 11 Mutalisks all in one go. If Classic doesn't see this coming in, it is very, very tricky for him. If the Mutas start flying around, he can deal so much damage. Okay. Here are the Mutalisks. How much damage can we do with them? Can we mutate with them? No. That is a Brood War thing. He's using the edge of the map to send them all the way around the map. It's gonna be an extra long ooh, did he just see one? He may have just had a glimpse of it. Second Stargate did begin. No, it's gonna be for the fleet beacon, but you know what? Yeah, if you already... Do you just... Nice micro here on the Mutas, by the way. I think one of them is gonna die. No, barely not. Second photon cannon does finish up. Oh, nice targeting there. Could have maybe had a second one. Two big storms! Spicy storms. A lot of Zerglings do die. Yeah, he's got a second Stargate and a fleet beacon coming, so maybe from the back of this, you can still start Phoenix production? I mean, that was Reynor's big surprise. He's making mass Muta. I think Classic has to effectively defend for now and go into the Annual Pulse Crystals upgrade, but it's not going to be easily done. Additional range on Phoenixes would be phenomenal. Reynor now sees that indeed it is going to be Phoenixes. Nice little bit of multitasking here too by the Italian Zerg player. Yep, Annual Pulse Crystals. Man, that's still so quick. Classic was making this to go into Tempests, to maybe build up a Mothership. Speaking of which, by the way, Mothership here would be pretty good. Obviously expensive and takes way too long, so Classic needs to be stable first. I think we need to take the gases ASAP. He needs to, yeah, we need gas again, because he doesn't have enough gas income at the moment. Storm! Storm, storm, storm! Gets the storm off. Still though, a single High Templar did die. If the Phoenix numbers get big enough, the Mutas are very difficult to counter. And Classic getting this upgrade effectively makes it impossible for the Mutas to hit the Phoenixes, assuming Protoss micros it correctly. Here we go again, though. Reynor is diving deep. He knows that he needs to get something done with this pretty soon. And despite having a very significant supply advantage earlier, he's kind of running into issues. Annual Pulse Crystals right now is done. There we go. You see the pink LEDs, the purple LEDs? It means the extra range has kicked in. You have to micro, though, dude. He lost 2 Phoenixes there unnecessarily. But, I mean, he's already pushing away the Zerg army. And honestly, that's the main goal. +1 air weapons also researching here for Classic. Still 50 supply behind, but he now has all the opportunities that he needs. Man, the Phoenix micro is very messy. Yeah, 3 of them have died. Quite recoverable, but all of them were savable for sure. Now, can Classic ever get a 5th base up? That's the question. Can we ever go into a 5th? Reynor's still just making Mutas. It's one of those weird things where, like, as a Protoss right now, you might not actually expect more Mutas. He did mix in a few Corruptors, but at some point, the Muta days are over. Well, for now, that's not the case. I like the Corruptors, though. Corruptors are very tanky. Yeah, and I think, ultimately, this is not a winning strategy for Reynor unless he gets some really good engagement soon. Zergling run-by is attempted, but Classic does have a unit in the wall off on hold position. And slowly but surely, that like 50 supply advantage that Reynor had, it's closing. It is closing fast. Zergling run-by down south, though. Lots of static defense here. I love the amount of photon cannons here that Classic made. It is not just a good counter here against the Zerglings, but also obviously to make the AI kind of like derp out, right? Like the Zerglings really want to attack the photon cannons and not the probes, because it doesn't perceive the probes as a threat. Hive now coming up for Reynor. He's thinking about transitioning towards something else, but Classic has evened up the supply count brilliantly. He can go into carriers from here. He can go into Even Void Race from here would be good. He can also just attack with the army that he's got right now. Big Zergling counterattack once more being used, though. And this time around, I mean, the Lings are at +2 melee. They do certainly pack a punch. It looks like we may just be ending up in another base race. Is that really what we're going to do? Is Reynor really more confident in this base race than the one in the previous game? Maybe. I mean, it's not a terrible idea. Keep in mind, Protoss can always recall, though. Still units over here. It seems like, okay, the Phoenixes have come back home, which I quite like. Just let these other Protoss units deal the damage. 51 workers of the Zerg have already died. Phoenix is still dancing around. Corruptors obviously do have the caustic spray ability, so they have to be respected. Looks like there's also, in the meantime, the main base, though, under assault. I don't think the expansion in the far top right has been spotted. Classic has been warping in reinforcements at home, so he has enough stuff. And yeah, there's really no way that this Protoss player is going to be broken before the Zerg will lose everything. Alrighty, that takes us to the map Persephone. Match point here for Classic. It was an interesting decision there from Reynor, right? So Reynor got into the main base of the opponent and scouted out that the fleet beacon was already done and that a second Stargate was already there too. He saw the Phoenix production had begun. Now, why would you double down at that point in time? Why would you go and continue producing mutas? Problem is, he didn't really have anywhere else to go. If he wanted to go into, like, say, Hydras, he would first off have to start up even the Hydra Den. If he wanted to go then into Lurkers, he would have to start up the Lurker Den and the Hive and the Infestation Pit and get a fourth base up with the gases mining and all the rest of it. So effectively, it would give him... It would give the Protoss all the freedom in the world to do whatever they like. And I think the problem that a lot of Zerg players are currently running into is that they are absolutely dreading playing late game against Protoss. Reynor is capable of doing it, I'm sure, but Classic, I mean, he recently managed to take down Serral, playing late game almost every match. Classic is a bit of a late game monster, and I think that was one of those scenarios where Reynor is like, well, I either try and beat them before the late game, or I die trying to get there, because I don't really have a lot of faith in playing the long run there. So, yeah, maybe like more aggressive Baneling transitions could kind of work, but then obviously you're really eating into your Mutalisk production. And ultimately, right, it does... This is the case with a lot of strategies, of course, in modern StarCraft, but it does require the Protoss to make quite a few mistakes. Classic, though, very strong defensively. He sniffed it out nice and early, despite not even having seen the Spire. I think he kind of knew that it was one of the likely choices, because he hadn't seen anything else. Yeah. Not an easy defense. And I really don't think the Fleet Beacon and the second Stargate were meant for Phoenix production initially. But then he had it, and, you know, when you have Phoenixes, Storm, High Templar, and Archons, technically Mutas should never really be able to deal damage. And keep in mind, Classic didn't even execute that, honestly, that well. I think his defense across the board was good, but his Phoenix micro was very spotty. Obviously, there's a lot of different things going on at the same time, and ping is also something to take into consideration. Even though they're probably both playing on the Korean server, there's still going to be a small little bit of delay. Anyway, good game right there for Classic. And Classic is looking quite monstrous. I think what makes Classic scary, though, is that he doesn't really do anything super fancy. Right? Like, he wins games just off of being good. Like, there's no trickery involved. Jokes aside, like, his games are easy to predict, but even when you know what's coming, it's not easy to stop. So, Oracle opener once again. It's going to be a quick third Nexus here, I'm sure. Once again, too. Although, if we want to make it, we should send the probe. Okay. Not cutting any corners. Not going for the single gate triple CC or triple Nexus. Oracle swoops in. 6 drones. It's really nice here. That's really nice for Classic. 6 drones for a single Adept is insane. What about the third Nexus? Well, Oracles no longer run out of energy if you use the energy recharge. So there's not going to be a way for the Zerg to deny this. And even though this is not the fastest possible Nexus by any stretch, it's still pretty darn good. Energy recharge is a banger of an ability. Okay, Twilight Council together with a Forge again. So far, this is not going too smoothly for Reynor, even though he's not in a terrible spot by any stretch of the imagination. Now suddenly he's gonna have to, like, get a little bit greedy. 6 workers is quite significant. Could get a second Adept for his troubles too. Shield battery coming up. We could even go into, like, charge. Charge with +1 is really strong. And we see this all the time from, like, for example, the heroes of this world. What's it gonna be? Yes! Oh my god. It really does look like I've pre-watched this. I swear I haven't. I swear I haven't. Ugh. I can't prove it to you, but I swear I haven't. Gotta believe me on my word, man. Alright, it's gonna be charge indeed. And, ooh, also a Templar Archives. So, I think this is gonna be for, not for Storm, although we could maybe, but I think it's gonna be for Archons. Archons and Zealots. And then a Prism, and we attack move. This is the infamous F2A move that Protoss players across the board, at least historically, have been very well known for. Not easily managed. Okay, the gateway production has begun. I think trading out some of those Adepts is not ideal, but not the end of the world. The High Templar. Gotta need one more. Yep, and then we morph them into Archons. And then basically what you do is you just warp in Zealots and you attack move. And then you let Tassadar take the wheel. Now obviously last time Tassadar took the wheel, he steered the Gantrathor into a collision course with the Overmind. So, you know, use this strategy at your own risk. But Classic is gonna try and see if he can get the job done. He's still busy harassing the opponents as well in the main base. There is a Roach Warren this time around for Reynor. That's nice. Okay. Here's the warp in. What do? Roaches now begin. Yeah, and this is where you attack move and maybe like juggle your units a little bit, but you don't really need to do too much. You just need to make sure you use your gateway units or your gateway production on cooldown. And this is such a sharp push from Classic. He hits right at the perfect moment. Super difficult for Zerg to reliably see this coming in. I don't think you really ever can. I like the Spore Crawler chasing the Prism though, that's kind of cute. As long as the Prism is here, reinforcements will continue coming in. And now suddenly, it's the Protoss player Zerging the Zerg. Careful though, man. Those spores are dangerous. They deal so much damage. Storm on the back of this as well. GG gets cold. Or actually, I think it was just a single G gets cold. Classic obtains the victory by winning over Reynor 3-0. Maybe not what I expected going into this particular series. Honestly, Classic just looked really strong. Other than some micro mistakes, I suppose, that we saw, that was a phenomenal series right there by the South Korean Protoss. Taking down somebody like Reynor 3-0 is, well, not easily done. Today, though, I want to give a special shout out to all of the Patreon supporters. By the way, I saw somebody asking in the YouTube comment section what this is. Whenever I do this, I want to thank all the Patreon supporters. First off, Ryan, Shren, Rex, right? This is, it's for my cats. It's a cardboard thingy for my cats to scratch on. Thank you, though, to everybody here on the screen, especially the biggest supporters. So Ryan, Shren, Rextor, Grimdy, BHC, Jacob, Krenler, Garing, Dustin, Strategist, Ballistical, Killman, Beinstork, Papuch, Thort, Sisitmin, Andy. We have Echo Soldier, Nakul, Gavilan, CRX, Robert, Patrick, Doomahome, Brusik, Champ, Jovo, Lucas, and Aaron. It's not a litter box. No, it's not a litter. It's just, look, my cats like scratching things, all right? As a matter of fact, maybe I can show you. I don't know if this is gonna work. You see my sound panel over there? Yeah, that was Toby.